Hi everybody, hello and welcome to another video with me, Spartan086, and today we're doing Forces of Valor's initial production Tiger 1. I know you're thinking, what is he talking about? Well, I'm talking about this bad boy in front of you. This is actually based on the first Tigers that went into action. Now, if you don't know this history, I'll tell you that the initial production Tigers weren't sent to Africa. They were actually sent to the Eastern Front, and they were sent there on Hitler's orders to break the siege of Leningrad. This tank went with the 502nd Heavy Panzer Battalion, which was well known as for its emblem, which was like a mammoth. Could be for power, if you want to say that. So, you know, the heavy tank battalions went with the name Schwere Panzerabteilung. Gotta love German. And they went up there in 1942. Now the story goes that OKW, which was German High Command, had advised Hitler against this. They had said, look, due to the terrain, the weather, partisans, how technically beastly these vehicles was, it's best that they don't go up there because they're untested and it could end up being a wee bit more costly for us than we think. Hitler was like, aye, whatever, I know better. And basically they almost lost every single one of the Tigers. It also ended up with, I'm pretty sure, 2 of the Tigers were recovered by the Russians and they were sent to Kamblinka, where the Russians began to extensively test it for weaknesses and were readily prepared for these when they eventually went into major combat action. So the Russians had an idea that they were coming and what to look for. And obviously, probably by the time then this version, which they captured, to the versions that they later went up against, there was obviously big changes, such as mudguards, the exhausts, the filters, what you're looking at on the side of the turret. So the smoke dischargers were probably gone, the commander's cupola was gone, the side what you call them, the side buckets, if you want to call them that. That's what we used to call them, buckets. You know, you could store things in storage containers, side storage containers of the turret were removed. One was placed at the back for later models. These things all were changed. Armour obviously isn't, but these things changed, and it probably did help a wee bit for the Germans later on, but again it was still technically crazy. So a wee bit of history to it. So the version we've got in front of us is extremely good. I really do like it. The paintwork's good. I do have a version which I did put up before, which was of which is a mid-production Tiger, and it was kind of based on this. Very similar. It is a 502nd. It's very similar paint scheme. Obviously it's mid-production, so it's not exactly the same as this, but I think it was kind of based on this from history, so that's why I bought it. Got a lot of stick from other collectors because they were saying, well, this isn't specific, it's not doing it right. I said, well, it's not about that, it's just, I like the paint scheme, I like this, because I've got a King Tiger with an octopus camo, which is something that was never actually really put on the King Tigers, but I thought it was an interesting aspect to look at, and that's why I bought it. Anyway, same with that Tiger. I'm not going to get a big story about it, but that's why. Overall, the model is fantastic. It is one of a kind. It is a big change again, I think, for Forces of Valor. I know people will say, well, it's still a Tiger. Yeah, it is a Tiger, but you've got a different cupola, you've not got the filtration, you've got a different exhaust, as you can see. You've got the exhaust here at the back. I'll show them in detail in the pictures after the video. They're all different. There's no side mudguards on the tank, as you can see. You've got the smoke dischargers, and I know somebody said, well, you got them on the first Tiger that they put out and the second Tiger they put out. Yeah, we did, but at the same time it's still something new, because you've got the side turret storage containers or storage bins, so something extra that you don't have. It was, but I would still like to see the late production Tiger come out, as well as the things that they've promised, and I'll get into that anyway. So overall, I think the Tiger's very good. The paint scheme's very good, the weathering's very good. The one thing I'm not too happy about is, as I said in the Sherman, is, I'll just go and grab him, is the wee fella. As you can see, he's not as great as he should be. I think they could have done a wee bit better. But what is cool is, he's 100% metal, which they did say they were going to do, which is cool. It's a nice wee treat. But if I was to compare him to the Sherman Commander, I would say he was better. But I still think there's a wee bit of work to do on the figurines, the commanders, etc. And I do think it'd be nice to get some more figurines rather than just the commander. I think with the money we're paying, some basic infantry would be nice. If anybody from Forces of Valor's watching, it's an idea, guys. As well as the Cold War series I keep saying about. So I hope you liked that video, guys. I hope you're enjoying them. Please like and subscribe. And until the next time, have a good one. Bye bye.